Welcome back to the channel USA Coins 69, another exciting adventure into the world of coins, history, and hidden treasures that could be sitting right in your pocket right now. Today, we're going to talk about a very special coin that is often overlooked because it's so recent and so common at first glance. But as we know, every coin has a story, and some coins, no matter how ordinary they appear, hold extraordinary secrets. The coin we're diving into today is the 2009 United States 1-cent Lincoln penny. And before you think to yourself, oh, that's too modern to be valuable, let me stop you right there, because this penny has a story, a purpose, and for certain rare versions, a value that could absolutely blow your mind. Stay with me until the end, because I'll reveal just how much this little 1-cent piece could be worth in the right condition. The year 2009 was no ordinary year for the Lincoln penny. It marked the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, 200 years since the birth of one of the most influential and beloved presidents in American history. And it was also the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln cent itself, first introduced in 1909. Think about that, a coin that had been around for a full century, always bearing the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, now reaching a moment of great celebration. To honor this historic double milestone, the U.S. Mint introduced not just one, but 4 different reverse designs for the 2009 Lincoln penny, each telling a different chapter of Lincoln's life. The first design depicted his humble birth and early childhood in Kentucky, showing a simple log cabin, a reminder of Lincoln's modest beginnings. The second design represented his formative years in Indiana, where he is shown sitting on a log, reading a book, symbolizing his love of learning and self-education. The third design highlighted his professional life in Illinois, with Lincoln standing in front of the State House in Springfield, capturing his growth as a lawyer and legislator. And finally, the fourth design celebrated his presidency in Washington, D.C., featuring the U.S. Capitol dome still under construction, an image of progress, leadership, and determination during one of America's most challenging times. Now, let's pause for a moment and appreciate how rare it is for a coin to carry such depth of symbolism. The 2009 pennies weren't just pieces of change, they were miniature history lessons, tributes to a man who rose from poverty to the presidency, who guided a nation through its darkest hour, and who forever left his mark on American values. Collectors instantly recognized the importance of these coins, and many people saved them straight from circulation, tucking them away as keepsakes of history. But here's where it gets even more interesting: not all 2009 pennies are created equal. While millions were produced, their value today depends heavily on where they were minted, what condition they are in, and whether they possess any rare minting errors. The coins were struck at different mints, Philadelphia and Denver, and special collector versions were made in San Francisco with a beautiful proof finish. Those proof coins were struck with extra care, showcasing sharp details and a mirror-like shine that make them especially appealing to collectors. Condition is everything in the world of coin collecting. A 2009 penny that's been heavily circulated and shows scratches, nicks, or where might only be worth its face value. But one in pristine, uncirculated condition, perhaps graded MS 65, MS 67, or even higher, can command significant attention and value. Collectors love coins that look as fresh as the day they were struck, and finding a flawless penny from 2009 isn't as easy as you might think, especially when so many were quickly spent and passed around in everyday use. And then we have the fascinating world of error coins. Mistakes happen at the mint, and when they do, those errors become rare treasures. Some 2009 Lincoln pennies have been discovered with doubled dies, where parts of the design appear doubled under magnification, making them standout varieties. Others have been struck off-center, or on defective planchets, giving them unique shapes or missing details. These kinds of errors turn an ordinary penny into a one-of-a-kind piece of numismatic art, and collectors are willing to pay big money to own them. It's also worth noting that while most pennies after 1982 were made primarily of zinc with a thin copper plating, certain test strikes or transitional errors sometimes appear in the wrong metal. Imagine a 2009 penny struck in bronze instead of zinc. Such a coin would be exceedingly rare and valuable. That's why collectors examine every detail, weight, and composition when evaluating coins. But beyond rarity and errors, what really makes the 2009 penny special is its story. It's not just a coin, it's a commemoration of Lincoln's journey from a log cabin in Kentucky to the White House. It's a celebration of 100 years of the Lincoln cent, a coin that has outlasted wars, economic depressions, and countless social changes. And it's a reminder that even the smallest pieces of change carry with them the weight of history, identity, and memory. Now, let's imagine for a moment that you come across a 2009 Lincoln penny. Maybe it's sitting in a jar of coins in your home, maybe you get it back as change from the grocery store, or maybe you've had one tucked away since the year they came out. You might look at it and think, it's just a penny. But if you look closer, if you notice the details, the condition, and maybe even an error that sets it apart, you could be holding something much more valuable than you ever imagined. And here comes the part you've been waiting for, the value reveal. Believe it or not, some rare versions of the 2009 Lincoln penny in pristine condition, with the right qualities and collector appeal, have been valued at an incredible $45,800. Yes, that's right, a single penny, worth nearly $46,000. A coin so small it often gets overlooked, yet so valuable it could change someone's life if they happen to find the right one. This is why coin collecting continues to captivate people around the world. It's not just about money, it's about the thrill of discovery, the connection to history, and the realization that treasures are hidden in plain sight. So the next time you see a 2009 Lincoln penny, don't just toss it aside. Take a good look. Check the design, check the condition, and see if maybe, just maybe, you're holding onto a fortune disguised as a penny. Today, we're going to shine the spotlight on a coin that many people overlook because it feels so modern and ordinary, but as collectors know, even the most recent coins can hold surprises that make them extremely valuable. I'm talking about the United States of America 1-cent Lincoln penny from the year 2006. At first glance, this may seem like just another penny, one of the billions produced by the U.S. Mint, but when we take a closer look, we uncover a story of history, design, errors, and rarity that makes the 2006 penny an absolutely fascinating piece. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, I'll reveal just how much one of these pennies could be worth if you happen to have the right one in your collection. Let's start with the background. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909, introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. For more than a century, it has been one of the most widely recognized and longest-running coin designs in the history of U.S. coinage. By 2006, the Lincoln penny had already been around for nearly a full century, becoming a permanent part of American culture, commerce, and collecting. The design on the obverse still features the profile of Abraham Lincoln, created by sculptor Victor David Brenner. His portrait of the 16th president remains one of the most iconic images ever placed on a U.S. coin. On the reverse of the 2006 penny, we still see the Lincoln Memorial design, which was first introduced in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This reverse design remained in use until 2008, when the Mint began preparing for the 4 special bicentennial reverses released in 2009. So in a way, the 2006 Lincoln penny belongs to the closing chapter of the Lincoln Memorial series, making it a key part of the story leading up to one of the biggest changes in modern penny history. The obverse design shows Lincoln's bust facing right, with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," at the top, "Liberty," on the left side, and the year, 2006, on the right. Depending on where the coin was minted, you'll also find a mint mark under the date, either a P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, or an S for San Francisco, the last of which was used only on proof coins. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial with the words, "United States of America," across the top, "E Pluribus Unum," just above the memorial, and the denomination, 1 cent, across the bottom. Now here's where things get interesting. The majority of 2006 pennies were struck in huge numbers, made primarily of zinc with a thin copper plating. That makes them common in circulation today. But collectors know that condition and rarity make all the difference. A penny that has been passed from hand to hand, showing scratches, dings, and wear, might not be worth more than its face value. But a coin that has been preserved in pristine condition, never spent, never scratched, still shining with its original mint luster, can be worth much more to collectors. Coins graded as mint state, especially those in MS 65, MS 67, or higher, are extremely desirable and valuable, and then we come to the thrilling world of error coins. Errors are what really transform an everyday penny into a rare treasure. Some 2006 pennies were discovered with striking mistakes, like double dies where the lettering or details appear doubled, or off-center strikes where the design is shifted away from the center of the coin. Other errors might include die cracks, missing letters, or even coins struck on defective or incorrect planchets. These rare mistakes make the coin unique, literally one of a kind, and collectors are always willing to pay big premiums for coins with such characteristics. Proof versions of the 2006 penny, struck at the San Francisco Mint, also add another layer of value. These coins were specially made for collectors with sharp details and a mirror-like finish, giving them a striking appearance that regular circulation coins just can't match. Some proofs were even made with a satin finish or in special mint sets, and these versions, when found in perfect condition, are highly sought after. The 2006 Lincoln penny also holds significance because it represents the last years of the memorial reverse design. Just 3 years later, the U.S. Mint would introduce the 4 bicentennial designs in 2009, followed by the Union Shield reverse in 2010 that we still see today. That makes the 2006 penny part of the final stretch of a design that lasted almost 50 years, giving it historical importance as well as collectible appeal. So let's imagine for a moment. You're going through a jar of coins at home, or maybe you receive change at a store, and you notice a 2006 penny. At first, you might not think much of it. But upon closer inspection, you see it's in amazing condition, with no scratches and full luster. Or maybe you notice an unusual detail, an error, a doubled die, or something unusual about its strike. Suddenly, what looked like just 1 cent could be worth hundreds, thousands, or in some cases, tens of thousands of dollars. That's the thrill of coin collecting. You never know what treasures might be hiding in plain sight. The 2006 penny is a great reminder that even modern coins can become valuable, not only because of their condition and rarity but also because of the historical moment they represent. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the value reveal. Believe it or not, certain rare versions of the 2006 Lincoln penny, in pristine uncirculated condition with the right qualities and collector demand, have been valued at an incredible $43,500. Yes, that's right, over $43,000 for a penny most people would overlook as pocket change. That's the magic of numismatics, a small coin, carrying history, artistry, and rarity, transforming into a life-changing treasure. So the next time you spot a 2006 Lincoln penny, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look. It might just be worth far more than you ever imagined. Today, we're exploring a coin that might look ordinary at first glance, something most people wouldn't give a second thought to, but that has captured the fascination of collectors everywhere: the United States 1-cent Lincoln penny from 1984. At first, you might think, it's just a penny from the 80s, surely it isn't worth much. But as we'll uncover today, this coin has surprises hidden in plain sight, and if you happen to have one in the right condition, it could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Stick around until the very end, because I'll reveal the astounding value this coin can hold. The Lincoln cent has been one of America's most iconic coins since its introduction in 1909, created to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse features a strong and dignified profile of Lincoln, a man who rose from humble beginnings to become the nation's 16th president and lead America through its most difficult period, the Civil War. His image has endured for over a century, gracing pennies in pockets, cash registers, and coin collections across the country. By 1984, the Lincoln penny had been a staple of everyday life for 75 years, and it was still striking the imagination of collectors and casual coin enthusiasts alike. The 1984 penny, like other modern pennies, was primarily composed of zinc with a thin copper plating. This makes it durable for circulation, but it also means it doesn't carry the intrinsic metal value of earlier silver pennies. Instead, the true value comes from rarity, condition, and sometimes errors that occurred during the minting process. While millions of 1984 pennies were produced at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition today is much rarer than you might think. Most pennies have been heavily circulated, showing scratches, worn surfaces, and the marks of decades spent in pockets, purses, and cash registers. Collectors are drawn to coins in top condition because they retain the sharp details of Lincoln's profile, the lettering, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. A coin graded MS 65, MS 67, or higher on the Sheldon scale is especially sought after. These coins have near-perfect surfaces, brilliant luster, and details that pop as if the coin were just struck at the mint yesterday. Such coins are rare and highly valuable, commanding premiums well beyond face value, but what truly excites collectors are the minting errors. Coins are mass-produced, but mistakes happen, and when they do, they create unique, one-of-a-kind pieces. Some 1984 pennies have been discovered with double dies, where parts of the design, such as Liberty or the date, appear doubled. Others may be off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or coins struck on defective blanks. These errors make each coin unique and highly desirable to collectors. The rarity of such errors, combined with the demand from collectors, can make an ordinary 1984 penny worth thousands of dollars. It's also fascinating to note that during the 1980s, coin collecting was becoming more popular in the United States, with many people beginning to understand that even recent coins could hold significant value if preserved or if they were struck with errors. The 1984 Lincoln penny belongs to this period, bridging modern coinage with the enduring legacy of Lincoln. It represents not only history but also the excitement of numismatic discovery. Imagine you are going through a jar of coins that has been sitting in your drawer for years. You pick out a 1984 penny and notice something unusual. Perhaps it shines more brightly than the others, maybe the details are extraordinarily sharp, or there is a subtle doubling on the date that you've never noticed before. That ordinary coin has suddenly transformed into a potential treasure. This is the thrill of coin collecting, the possibility that a simple piece of change can hold historical significance and financial value beyond your imagination. Even proof or special collector versions of the 1984 penny add to the excitement. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, with their mirror-like finish and sharp details, were specially made for collectors and have always commanded higher interest than circulation strikes. Many of these coins remain carefully stored in albums or protective cases, retaining their original luster and eye appeal, which makes them highly sought after today. The story of the 1984 penny is also a reminder of how coins can connect us to history. While it may be only a few decades old, it reflects the United States in the 1980s, a country experiencing technological growth, cultural shifts, and ongoing political change. It's a piece of everyday life frozen in time, linking us to the economy, society, and craftsmanship of the mint during that period. Holding a coin like this is like holding a small, tangible piece of the past, a moment captured in copper and zinc, and now, the moment you've been waiting for, the value reveal. For collectors lucky enough to find a 1984 Lincoln penny in pristine condition, or even better, one with a rare minting error, the value has been recorded at an incredible $34,300, yes, $34,300 for a single penny that many people overlook as mere pocket change. This is the magic of numismatics, the realization that even the most common-looking coins can hide extraordinary treasures if you know what to look for. So the next time you handle a 1984 Lincoln penny, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look, examine the details, and think about the journey this coin has taken from the mint to your hands. You may just be holding a piece of history that is worth far more than you ever imagined. Today, we're going to explore a coin that might look like just a simple penny from the 1970s, but in reality, it's a treasure trove for collectors, the United States 1-cent Lincoln penny from 1974. At first glance, it may seem like just another coin you could find in a jar of change, but once you understand its history, design, and rare characteristics, you'll see why this coin has captured the attention of collectors worldwide. Stay with me until the very end, because I'll reveal the astonishing value this coin can hold if you happen to have the right one. The Lincoln penny has been one of America's most iconic coins since 1909, first introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse features a detailed and dignified profile of Lincoln, reminding us of his journey from a humble log cabin in Kentucky to becoming the 16th President of the United States. By 1974, the Lincoln penny had already been in circulation for 65 years, becoming one of the most recognizable and enduring coin designs in the country. The 1974 penny is part of the long-running Lincoln Memorial Reverse Series, which was introduced in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial stands tall and detailed, symbolizing both Lincoln's legacy and the nation's reverence for one of its greatest leaders. The words, United States of America, stretch across the top, with De Pluribus Unum elegantly placed above the memorial, and the denomination, 1 cent, along the bottom. Every penny tells a story, but the 1974 Lincoln penny captures a slice of American history during a decade of change. The 1970s were an interesting time in American coinage. This decade saw rising metal prices and significant coin production, yet the penny remained primarily composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, as it had been since before the 1982 change to a mostly zinc core. The 1974 Lincoln penny, therefore, carries the full copper composition, which adds to its appeal among collectors who appreciate the traditional metal content. Holding one of these pennies is like holding a piece of the past, a reminder of the materials, techniques, and artistry of the mint during that era. Most 1974 pennies were struck in massive quantities at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, making them common in circulation. However, condition is everything when it comes to value. Many pennies have been heavily circulated, showing scratches, nicks, and worn surfaces. But a small fraction survived in pristine, uncirculated condition, preserving the sharp details of Lincoln's profile and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. These top-grade coins, often graded MS 65 or higher, are highly sought after because they retain the original luster and eye appeal, something that's incredibly rare after almost 50 years in circulation. The excitement for collectors goes beyond condition. It's also about minting errors and varieties. Coins are mass-produced, but mistakes occasionally happen at the mint, and those mistakes can create extremely valuable and unique coins. Some 1974 pennies were struck with double dies, where lettering or details appear doubled. Others may show off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or die cracks. Each of these errors makes the coin one of a kind, highly coveted by collectors who understand the rarity and historical significance. There are also proof coins from 1974, produced at the San Francisco Mint, which were struck with extra care for collectors. These proofs feature sharp details, mirror-like surfaces, and a level of artistry that is hard to find in circulation strikes. Some were even made in special mint sets or with satin finishes, and their rarity combined with pristine condition makes them extremely valuable today. The 1974 Lincoln penny also holds cultural and historical significance. The 1970s were a decade of economic uncertainty, social change, and political upheaval in the United States. Coins like the Lincoln penny were more than just currency, they were part of everyday life, a tangible reminder of American history and values. They connect us to the past, giving us a small, tangible link to the people and events of that era. Now, imagine you're going through a collection of old coins, perhaps inherited from family or stored away for decades. You pick out a 1974 Lincoln penny, and at first glance, it looks like any other penny. But then you notice something special. It shines with original luster, or maybe there's a subtle error that sets it apart. Suddenly, this ordinary coin transforms into a remarkable collectible, and the excitement of discovery takes over. Collectors know that these rare coins, preserved in uncirculated condition or bearing unique minting errors, are not only beautiful, they are valuable. They represent history, artistry, and rarity, all in the palm of your hand. And in the world of coin collecting, rarity plus demand equals value, and now, the moment you've been waiting for, the value reveal. A 1974 Lincoln penny, in pristine uncirculated condition or with certain rare qualities, has been valued at an astounding $48,900, yes, $48,900 for a single penny that most people would overlook as ordinary change. This is the magic of coin collecting. A simple, everyday coin can hold an extraordinary story, historical significance, and financial value far beyond its face value. So the next time you come across a 1974 Lincoln penny, don't just dismiss it. Take a closer look. Check the condition, examine the details, and see if you might be holding onto a coin that could be worth a small fortune. Today, we're turning our attention to a coin that might look like an ordinary penny at first glance, but for collectors, it holds incredible significance: the United States 1-cent Lincoln penny from 1982. At first glance, you might think, it's just a penny, it can't be worth much, but as we're about to see, this coin carries a story, historical importance, and potential value that could astonish you. Stick around until the very end, because I'll reveal just how much a rare 1982 Lincoln penny can be worth if you have the right one in your collection. The Lincoln penny has been one of America's most iconic and enduring coins since its introduction in 1909. Created to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it features a dignified portrait of the 16th president, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's profile has become one of the most recognizable images in numismatics, symbolizing perseverance, leadership, and the rich history of the United States. By 1982, the Lincoln penny had already been circulating for over 7 decades, embedding itself into American life, culture, and daily commerce. But the year 1982 is unique in the history of the Lincoln penny. This was the year when the U.S. Mint transitioned from a traditional 95% copper composition to primarily zinc with a thin copper plating, due to rising copper prices. That means 1982 pennies were produced in both copper and zinc varieties. This transition makes the 1982 penny particularly interesting and significant to collectors. A copper 1982 penny is more traditional, while the zinc version represents a major change in U.S. coinage. Both are collectible, but the rarer, well-preserved copper varieties often carry higher value, especially if in uncirculated condition. On the obverse of the coin, you'll find Lincoln's profile, with the words, "In God We Trust," above his head, "Liberty," on the left, and the date, 1982, to the right, accompanied by a mint mark if applicable. Philadelphia coins have no mint mark, Denver coins carry a D, and proof coins from San Francisco carry an S. The reverse of the coin still features the Lincoln Memorial design, first introduced in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The words, "United States of America," stretch across the top, with "De Pluribus Unum" just above the memorial, and the denomination, 1 cent, along the bottom. The detail on the memorial and Lincoln's profile can be remarkably sharp, especially in uncirculated coins, which adds to their appeal. One of the most exciting aspects of the 1982 Lincoln penny is the variety and minting errors that can occur. Coins are mass-produced, but mistakes occasionally happen at the mint, creating rare collectibles. Some 1982 pennies were struck with doubled dies, where the lettering or date appears doubled. Others may be off-center, clipped, or struck on defective planchets. These errors turn a seemingly ordinary penny into a highly sought-after treasure. Collectors around the world hunt for these variations because they are one-of-a-kind pieces that tell a story about the minting process and the uniqueness of each coin. Condition also plays a crucial role in the coin's value. A 1982 penny that has been circulated extensively may only be worth its face value. But a coin in pristine, uncirculated condition, graded MS 65, MS 67, or even higher, can attract significant interest from collectors. Such coins retain the original luster, crispness of detail, and eye appeal that make them highly desirable. Proof coins, struck at the San Francisco Mint with extra care and mirror-like surfaces, are even more valuable for collectors seeking perfection. Beyond errors and condition, the 1982 penny is historically significant because it represents a pivotal moment in U.S. coinage. The transition from copper to zinc was a response to economic conditions, rising metal costs, and the need to maintain affordable coin production. That makes the 1982 penny not just a coin, but a tangible record of change in America's economy, technology, and minting practices. Holding a 1982 penny is holding a piece of history, a coin that bridges the traditional copper era with the modern zinc pennies we use today. Now imagine for a moment, you're sifting through a jar of old coins, or perhaps a box of pennies collected over the years. You pull out a 1982 Lincoln penny and notice that it looks pristine, with all details sharply defined and original luster intact. Or maybe you spot a subtle doubling of the date or lettering, or a tiny error that makes it unique. Suddenly, what seemed like just another penny transforms into a collectible with enormous potential value. This is the thrill of coin collecting, the discovery that something ordinary can be extraordinary if you know what to look for. The 1982 Lincoln penny reminds us that every coin has a story. It's not just currency, it's a reflection of history, economics, and artistry. It connects us to the past, showing us how coins evolve, how minting processes change, and how the smallest pieces of metal can become treasured collectibles. For collectors, this penny represents both the excitement of discovery and the opportunity to own a tangible piece of history. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the value reveal. A rare 1982 Lincoln penny, in pristine uncirculated condition or with a notable minting error, can be worth an astonishing $65,100, yes, $65,100 for a single penny, a coin many would overlook as mere pocket change. This is the magic of numismatics, the realization that even a small, ordinary coin can hold immense historical, aesthetic, and financial value if it has the right qualities. So the next time you come across a 1982 Lincoln penny, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look, examine the details, and consider that you might be holding a coin worth a small fortune. Thank you for joining me today on this deep dive into the world of coins and the story behind the 1982 Lincoln penny. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another exciting discovery. Share this with your friends and fellow collectors. You never know who might be holding a coin worth tens of thousands of dollars without even realizing it.